Hello gamers, we are back for the third part of our PvP run, where we are invading and leveling up through invasion runes as we go through the entirety of the game. And where we left off last time, we had done our first 3 invasions using the disposable bloody fingers that you get from Vare. So we have yet to get the permanent finger, which is a bit of a problem for us, wanting to do invasions. So we have a few things in Liurnia that we're going to do today in order to, one, get ourselves set up for more consistent weapon upgrades, as well as moving a few quest lines forward. And then, of course, the big fish for today is going to be wrapping up Vare's quest, or getting it to the point where he gives us the permanent bloody finger. And after doing a little bit of research, we should be in a good spot as well to accept Raya's invitation to Volcano Manor, which will get us the Recusant finger. So in case you don't already know, to summarize, when you have the 2 invasion items, it's much easier to get invasions because you can switch between them rapidly, which will re-queue you, and to my understanding anyway, will increase the likelihood that you get an invasion quickly instead of sitting and waiting. So that's the idea, because the more consistently and quickly we can get invasions, the more fun it's going to be, and 2, the shorter these videos will be, at least hopefully. So to start, we're going to go ahead and talk to Bogart here. Give me the necklace, buddy. Be a shame if something were to happen to those delicious crabs of yours. Yeah, okay. Alright, you drive a hard bargain, my friend. Honestly, really love this NPC overall. I like how he's kind of just vibing for a while, and then it turns out that he has a connection to one of the most fucked up characters in the entire game. I was really a little mad the first time I played through, and it turned out that he had to die. So, anyway, we're going to look here. I think, yeah, right, it's right here. So we're also gonna get the map and blah blah blah. Also on that list, we want to go ahead and get our first bell bearing. That's going to set us up to be able to consistently purchase upgrade materials for our weapons as we gather PvE runes from bosses and whatnot. That is honestly probably the number one barrier in these kinds of runs, is being able to keep your weapons upgraded alongside your rune level. There you go. No, we already know who you are. Come on. Alright, yep. Skipperino. Yay. Yeah, I didn't mean to jump like that. Alright, so we are gonna quickly go up here, grab our map. Oh, there's also a golden seed up here as well. I think, looking at my notes real quick, because I actually did do some notes this time around. I might throw them up on screen just so you can see. Let's see. I believe by my count we have 3 golden seeds in Liurnia that we can grab. I might be forgetting one. Oh, maybe there's one more in the Caria Manor, now that I think about it. But in Liurnia proper, I think there's 3, which is great. I think we should net 1 or 2 flasks out of that. And then we have a couple sacred tears we'll grab as well. Are we getting shot? Nope. Alright. Another popular bonfire duelist spot here. And just to keep going down the list here while we're kind of just running around, there's a few other small things that we can pick up while we're here. I think we go this way. Yeah. So let's see here. First bell bearing. We also want to get the let's see, not the Dectus medallion, but the Haligtree medallion from the Albanaric village. And then we have a few talismans as well. The spear talisman and then the winged sword insignia is, like, they're useful. We're not going to be able to really build around them just yet, but for, like, thrusting swords and whatnot, they will help to kind of beef up our damage a bit. And then, very importantly for our Shamshir, we want to grab Sword Dance, the Ash of War, which, if you don't know already, Sword Dance on Shamshir is just a bread and butter combination. Everybody usually has it in their inventory. We'll talk to, what's his face here? Yep. Hey, little boy. Alright, fascinating. Moving along. Alright, map has been found, so we want to go here. I'm gonna get rid of this. Alright, we have made it to the mine. If I recall correctly, this is just a Crystallian boss, and I think it's like a, 10 foot from the Grace situation. So getting this bell bearing is going to save us the trouble, obviously, of needing to run around and try to organically pick up smithing stones 1 and 2. Grab a few PvE runes while we're at it. These guys are worth actually quite a bit more than I thought. I always forget that the default ash for this weapon, to memorize this, is Lion Claw, or Lion's Claw rather. Like, such an odd pairing if you ask me. I really hate these guys. They have really obnoxious glintstone things. Okay, we're just gonna run. We're just gonna go. Yep. Alright. Oh no, wait. I remembered this mine now. I think I'm thinking about the second bell bearing in Altus. Yeah, that one's the one where the boss is like 2 feet from the fucking Grace. Thank you. Goodbye. Wasn't me. Invading here is always really entertaining too, just because you can really play around the beam there that you walk across. Many a host I have knocked off of that beam for the gravity kill. Nope, you are not hitting me with that, buddy. These things will actually really hurt you if you're not careful. Okay, knock you down. Fall! Fall! There we go. And if you look down here, it's kind of... Oh, it is the Crystallian. But yeah, there's the boss room we're getting to, so we're going down, down, down. Oh, okay. Yeah, so when you go get the bell bearings, the caves that they're in usually have slightly higher level stones. That'll be useful for us. Today, I think we want to get... Somewhere around rune level 30 to 35, I think, is reasonable for us, with our weapons at the very highest +3, if we're lucky. We don't want to overshoot too much, because once we do that, we can't go back. I am trying to manually save along the way, just in case we fuck something up and we need to reload, but it's also tedious to just do that every major milestone, obviously. There we go. Alright, somber. Alright, so this weapon, I think, is our best option. Zweihander might be a little better. I don't know, we should be okay. I know these guys have high resistance to pierce damage, so we'll just... Oh god. Woo! Just need to hit him hard enough that, there we go, quick. Do I have my... Yeah, I've got the Misericord on the secondary. There we go. See, that's the difference when you use the Misericord. You're gonna be getting that extra little bit of crit damage. There we go. And there we go. Miner's Bell Bearing #1. Now, of course, these are only for the standard smithing stones, not the somber ones, which help us with unique boss weapons. But that's okay. Right now, we are mostly sporting regular weapons anyway, so we'll be just fine with that. Now, next, there's a few things that we can clean up. I think we need to go here and move Hyetta forward. And this was something that I actually got started on off screen. I went down to Castle Morn at the beginning of the last video to get her to move forward, because I forget what the exact point of no return is with her, but you can fail to trigger her by not talking to her in the Weeping Peninsula, and then you're gonna miss her quest line, which is not critical to what we're doing here. However, it does have the payoff of netting us the Frenzied Flame seal, and that will not be until much later on, but that is a great tool because it has no stat requirements for us, which is going to allow us to cast things mainly Bestial Vitality, which is the basic regen spell, and that again is just a great utility incantation that even if you're running a pure melee strength or dex build of some kind, super valuable to have just in the back pocket. We're going to go ahead and real quick just push her forward. Might as well. Sidetracked? I don't know what you mean by sidetracked. I never get sidetracked. I'm very ADHD brain, so it's very easy for me to figure out secondary goals that I want to focus on and then just getting complete tunnel vision on them. So that's going to be a lot of this playthrough, but the idea is to just clear my mental map of what we need to do as quickly as possible so we can just keep moving forward and keep invading, because again, it's a PvP run. Invading is kind of the whole fucking point here. We grab a Shibriri grape here, and then to go with that seal, we get our Two Fingers heirloom. This is always a great talisman swap to have, because Bestial Vitality does have a minimum stat requirement. It's not very high, and you can invest 2 or 3 stat points in it to not need the talisman, but when you're looking at kind of a scarce few stat points early on in the game, using that can put you just over the requirement to be able to use Bestial Vitality. Yep. Yummy. Yum. Yep. Fascinating. She is one of those NPCs that has like a pretty, at least later on, quite a few dialogue lines that you need to complete, or, and this has happened to me a lot of times, she will just not move forward. Let's see, she, next, I believe she moves up here to this bridge. Now the thing is, in order to move her past that spot, it's somewhere over here, we will need to go and defeat, basically my understanding is that it's like the ghostly phantom invader version of her father. Now the thing is, we can't do that just yet, because he automatically will put in our inventory a Banished Knight Halberd plus, it's 7 or 8. And that is similar to Rajer's rapier, where if we put that in our inventory, we are fucked, because it means that the game is going to read that as our max level weapon, and our online algorithm, our brackets for matchmaking, are going to be absolutely fucked, because plus 8 is rune level, I'd say 60 would be the approximation. Feel free to correct me on that. And we do not want that. So Hyetta is basically going to be here for the foreseeable future, until we reach such a point that we need our weapons to be that high. So let's take a look here. Let me refer back to my notes. We've moved Raya forward. We've got Hyetta where she needs to be for the time being. Now for Vare, which... where did Vare go? Oh, I guess I didn't officially get the landmark here, but it doesn't really matter. So Vare is right here at this church, and what we need to do is get here. And right next to it, of course, is that Madness Frenzied Tower, which is quite annoying to deal with. Now we could take on the Madness Tower. I think it's not out of the question. Let's go ahead, because it is an annoying little inconvenience. Let me get us to... there's a grace around here somewhere. There it is. Always overshoot it. So we'll grab this. Yeah, I was wondering if it was like sleep or jumping would allow you to avoid the stun or not. Apparently not. This is one of those things that I was expecting to see in the in Night Rain, actually, is one of these sort of area of effect landmarks, but they didn't wind up putting them in. Okay, we're gonna rush it. Yerg. So the madness itself is not going to kill us outright, but it is just kind of annoying. Pick up the yellow ember here. Wait for the, there we go. Yerg. Oh, let me through. Okay, let me up. Okay. Very nerve-wracking for how, basic this challenge is. Let the meter go down a bit. Oh, Shiburi, not really necessary for us. We're gonna stand in this little spot to not get procced. Okay, so this is not particularly hard, it's just kind of annoying trying to kill all these guys. There it is. Oh, my lord. Yeah, that madness will really fuck us up if we're not careful. There we go. Weathered straight sword. Another weathered straight sword. And a couple glass shards. Okay, nothing amazing. Oh no, wait, we don't need to heal. Yerk. Now, that rise over there is going to net you the two, it's the Cannon of Haima and the Gavel of Haima spells. Really useful if you're doing any kind of int or int hybrid build, obviously not relevant for us. I think we're gonna just bum rush the church, honestly. And then we'll just GTFO. Alright, we're good to go. Okay, let's see if we can spam him with the halberd. Not a lot of damage, but probably just enough. Just need to not get hit by that. We should be okay. Honestly, this is the average invader experience against a lot of hosts. They'll just spam out of hit stun. You can avoid this and get a backstab pretty easily. Punch into the animation. Oh! Get the ash off like I hoped. Fuck you. Fool. You already used your flask. Oof! Oh, almost got the backstab. Now, if we had the Spear Talisman, this would probably already be over, honestly. See, now he starts dodging. We need to not get hit by that and procced. There we go. Okay, we got Fingerprint Grape, which I think is what you technically need to move Hyetta to Bellum Church, but we still need to give her a regular Shabiri Grape to get her there. And then we give her... Wait, I got it turned around. Yeah, so we move her forward with a regular Shabiri Grape, and then after that we give her Vikes, and that's what's going to move her ahead to Lanedale, I'm pretty sure. Increase our replenishment. Excellent. Let's see here. So I think we're good to go, and we can go ahead and wrap up Vare for the time being. And honestly, this questline is just needlessly convoluted, just to be able to get a basic multiplayer item, and there's really no indication up till this point that that is what you're going to get out of the questline. And I think it's kind of a missed opportunity. A lot of people may go through an entire playthrough without knowing that that is even a thing. Which is kind of a general complaint I have with this game and its multiplayer components, is that they're not signaled, emphasized, reinforced, whatever word you want to use, in a way that would encourage a lot of players to engage with them. And I've talked about this in previous videos, and some people seem to really agree with it, others strongly disagree. But I do argue that the multiplayer elements of this game are fully intended to be a part of your playthrough. It's part of why we're doing this run, just to kind of demonstrate that. But it's kind of frustrating that From didn't do much to present them as an enjoyable part of the experience. And, you know, what's done is done. I'm not trying to do armchair development stuff, but it does seem like a huge missed opportunity, especially when you look back on DS3 and the way that it approached that organic implementation and how it survived for so long as a result. It didn't stand in the way of you engaging with multiplayer to the extent that Elden Ring mostly does. Even when it comes to the cooperative side of things, it's for some reason hinges on a disposable item that you have to recraft over and over. And maybe that's a good way to encourage people to not summon help all the time, but it's so easy to craft it that it's like, why didn't you just put a permanent item at that point? Like, what's the point in forcing people to collect ingredients and recraft it, and you end up with 200 of them by the end of a playthrough anyway? Like, just little things like that, just sort of, they're indicators of how the online side of this game was not thoroughly considered to the extent that it was in previous games, which is a shame, because this game is wonderful, and obviously it performed so well numbers-wise, and had a huge cultural impact on the last, basically, decade of gaming, possibly further. And sadly, the online component of it is, you know, it's doing fine today, but in a few years, it may not be the case, which is very sad for me as an invader. But anyway, talking a bit too much, let's go ahead and get this shit wrapped up. Yay! Really wish they actually removed your finger or applied some kind of cosmetic to it. Also, little detail that people may not be aware of, and I think the lighting might be funky, but you can probably sort of see it. When you invade, and I think you have to win the invasions, I might be off on that, but your eyes turn red. It's a little cosmetic change there. I think it goes away if you die, or if you apply any other cosmetic to it, but you can turn it on and off in the character creation. Just kind of a fun little detail. From here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go grab the Raya Lucaria key, and then we'll head west from there to grab Sword Dance. And yeah, I think it's approximately what we want to do spatially. Okay. We'll go ahead and grab the actual landmark here. Oh, that's right. We have Blood Flame Blade here. Which is very useful early on, because rather than doing flat bleed buildup, it uses the fire version of that, same as like Moog's Spear, where it slowly ticks up, and then my understanding of it is that it compounds each time you apply it. And what that means is that you kind of get a sense of when the proc is going to actually hit, and you can time that in terms of when you're hitting your opponent, and sort of expect the proc to happen at a certain point. The host won't really know what hit them. It's really nasty work. Okay. I know there's a grace up this way, but we're gonna just head over this way. Oh, that's an interesting... I hadn't noticed that before. That's an interesting bit of kind of a visual path to that grace. Yeah, there's like these dead... I think these are misbegotten. I always get them and the demi-humans mixed up. Yeah, these are misbegotten, because Hayata's father was fighting against a misbegotten, like rebellion or invasion or something in the castle. So yeah, you see these corpses lined up and heading to that grace off in the distance where he invades you, which we don't want to go there. But I hadn't noticed that before. That's a cool little detail. We're gonna just run down here and get this guy as quickly as possible so we don't have to deal with the bats. Come on, let me hit you. Thank you. Alright. So while we're here, we're gonna go ahead and grab the memory stone in this rise, just because we're here already. We are really not going to need full spell slots for this build, but you know, might as well. Hey, okay. But what we're gonna do for the time being is we're going to head over here. Forget the precise location, but we're gonna head over there and grab ourselves the Spirit Talisman. Now, this is one of those dungeons that I always have to just kind of feel out where it is because I can never remember the exact location. Go over here, and you just kind of have to hug the wall until you find it. There we go. Okay, that was quick. Head on down. This is also kind of a cool little dungeon in terms of its layout. Like, you kind of have this bottomless pit over here. Let's see here. What's going to be good for this area? Let's have some thrusting sword fun. Why not? Oh! I always forget about that. Those guys will fuck you up if you're not careful. There we go. Oh, string! Well, ironically, one of the hardest crafting resources to find in the entire game, but insanely important, because you want to be able to craft drawstring greases, but there are only maybe 2 reliable farming locations for it. So one of the best PvP items is one of the hardest, even though it uses fucking string of all things. Oh. Please stop. There we go. Rainbow stone. Alright. There we go. a big one down here. Oh, well that didn't do what I wanted it to do at all. More string. Very nice. I can't actually remember what you use these fireflies for, crafting-wise. Alright, and just like that, Spear Talisman, and appropriately, it is wonderful for weapons such as the S-Stock. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on, actually. We're gonna go ahead and do this boss down here. I think it's just a Bloodhound Knight, because it's going to also get us to, oh, what's her name? The Albinaric lady. I'm so bad with NPC names in these games, because I just remember them for their locations and quest lines and rewards, which, I'm just gonna run on through here. Yoink. Smithing stone 2. Oh, a 4. That's early on. Okay. Oh, forget that you guys even have a jumping attack. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be our best bet. But we'll, okay. Okay. And we get good counter damage from our guard attacks too, because of that Spirit Talisman. Just like that. I want to be careful we don't get bleed procced. People really do underestimate how powerful guard counters are. Just like that. Don't even have to roll. Can you see why Sekiro is my favorite FromSoft game? Contentious opinion, I know. But no, I think Sekiro is one of the best games potentially ever made, just from a pure mechanics standpoint. Alright, we have made it to the cave. I'm going to actually... We're gonna just go full guard counter setup for this. We're gonna just rush this one. Because we are just here for the talisman. Oh, okay. Yep, that was... Don't know why I thought blocking was a good idea. Okay. We're gonna just run on through here, pardon me. Yep. Be careful not to roll in this stuff. Alright. Okay, need to approach this a little more carefully, not in the poison. Backstab. Oh, okay. Nope, don't get impaled and rotted. Backstab. Ooh, I don't know what I was trying to do there. Okay, turns out you are actually a difficult enemy. Alright, we're going to need to approach you differently. Or just keep backstabbing you, honestly. Backstab. I don't know how a PvE backstab lags. Makes no sense, but... Oh, no. Do something. There we go. I guess you can't stance break those guys easily. Alright, winged sword insignia. Perfect. Alright, so that cleans up quite a few things on our list for today. We have sword dance, spear talisman, winged sword, bell bearing, 3 NPCs. Okay, so we're going to also go ahead and prioritize a few golden seeds, which I'm going to just go ahead and fast forward through all that because it's just a lot of running around. But I think there are 3 that we can grab here pretty easily. And we, as we saw in the last video, we need as many flasks as possible because it's so easy to run out. So I'll see you guys on the other side. I'm gonna just kind of like cut ahead here. So yeah, we have arrived at Main Academy Gate, or MAG as it's fondly referred to. This, for a while, including when I got started doing duels, was the de facto, basically Pontiff, which is DS3, sort of Elden Ring's Pontiff, except strictly for duels. People would drop their signs here and summon each other. That was before the Colosseum created a dedicated dueling area, but if... curious here. If we have a look, well, we're not really in the right level bracket, I'm realizing, but if we were in probably rune level 80 and above, there would still probably be a notable number of red signs here. And I remember when I was starting out dueling, I was so scared of meta builds, or basically anybody competent. So there was always a game of like standing on the summoning sign to see what their character looked like and trying to determine if that was the opponent I wanted to fight or not. Of course, it doesn't really tell you that much about players' skill or what they're gonna do, but I remember that before I was more confident, and whenever I would summon somebody to fight or be summoned, I'd always get like nervous because I just wasn't used to the dynamic of fighting another person. And you get used to it relatively quickly, but I remember just how much anxiety I had about fighting one-on-one against people. So yeah, just a little bit of story time there. So we have 2 golden seeds. We've got an extra flask, which brings us up to 8. So we will have 4 flasks when we invade, which I think is the sweet spot for the bracket we're going to be in. It's just enough that our disadvantage is mitigated somewhat, but not so many that we're going to have an unfair number of mistakes that we can make. Okay, so I gave it a little bit of thought, and I think that it's going to be smart for us to go ahead and get ourselves over to Dragon Barrow so that we can grab the second half of the Dectus Medallion. Because I really think from just a convenience streamlining perspective, getting the second invasion finger is going to be just so much help for us. So, I'm going to go ahead, grab the Grace here, and it's going to make it easier to, once we start collecting Deathroot later on, to come back here and cash in. Because I think we need to get, I think it's 4 Deathroot to get Bestial Vitality, the regen spell I mentioned earlier. Now, over here off the cliff, we're not going to do this just because this is a later area and I don't want to do anything unfair. If you drop down along the cliff here, you can kind of see there, well, you can't see from here, but there's kind of an extension of the architecture. And if you make your way carefully down there, you'll be able to find, I think it's only the first version of it. Oh, there's a golden seed here as well. We'll go ahead and grab that, just because we're here. But down there is the first Dragon Crest Shield talisman, the one that just gives you basic physical damage negation. Useful in PvE, not so much PvP, because there's just so many talismans that are better in slot than that, even with the fully, the +2 version. Alright, we have made it to, what's it called? Fort Pharos. So, this is also the location of the popular rune farming location for Grail here. If you have a bleed weapon, which we do technically have, actually I'm gonna go ahead and set that up just now that I mention it. I think we're gonna throw Bloody Slash on, yeah, I think Bloody Slash on Estok is a pretty solid choice. Then put Sword Dance on our Shamshir. Sacred Blade. We're gonna go ahead and actually do this, that, and then yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. What's gonna be best for us here? I think Storm Stop on Clay. Pretty solid choice. Now, for now. The Zwei is eventually gonna get it. And then Highland Axe. Roars are enhanced. Yeah, so we're gonna throw Barbaric Roar on this guy for the additional buff. And I think that rounds out our Ash of War selections, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a couple things away here. Vike Spear is just not for us. Okay. So, yeah, I'm unsure if we're gonna do this rune farm or not. It takes a while. Maybe in the next video, I'm not sure. Alright. Second half of the medallion, and with that we are set up to head to the Dectus lift. Curious to see what Duskbloods is like. Which, what the fuck is up with that game, by the way? Like, my partner is already thinking of getting a Switch 2 anyway, so, like, you know, thanks to him, it's probably not going to be much of a, like, problem, per se, but I feel like putting a title like that behind a new console purchase, especially for how expensive it is kind of egregious. I'm generally against console exclusives, period, so you can probably intuit how I feel about Bloodborne. But it's just, like, when they announced that, I was really hoping that there'd be maybe a later announcement, like a few days past, where it's like, oh, it's gonna come out for other consoles, don't worry, but if you want it before those consoles, you get it on Switch. Like, that's happened in the past. You get it sooner if you purchase it, like, off Steam, for instance. But no, it looks like they're going full balls to the walls exclusive with that, which I don't know about it. I don't know about that one, man. Like, seems like a questionable decision if you ask me, but nobody's asking me, so whatever. Alright, so we are not going to grab any graces here. There are lots of golden seeds in all this, but we are not going to get those. We do not want to be unfair and have, 10 flasks. Yep. Take me to the manor. Yes. Alright, here we are. Beautiful area of the game. Really wish, similar to Raya Lucaria, that it was expanded further. Just the concept of this area is so cool. The idea of like this elaborate manor perched at the top of an active spewing volcano. Probably the area of the game that reminds me the most of Legend of Zelda. Like, just one of those very fantastical, impractical locations for a place like this, but it somehow just works off of vibes alone. Yep. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead. Tediously open all these doors just because we'll need them open later. Oh yeah. Perfume bottle. I think that's our first. Boom. Okay. Got our recusant finger. Okay, so we're back at the round table hold. We're gonna go ahead and cash in our bell bearing, and based off the number of runes we have, we should be able to get quite a bit of upgrading done. Okay, so let's actually take a quick look at our inventory here. So I think we want to get everything to +2. Okay. Okay. Buy these just so the multiplayer menu is filled out. Don't think we want any of these guys down here. No, we should be okay without them. We should probably go ahead and buy the Spirit Summon items. We'll probably use those at some point, honestly. I don't feel too guilty about it. Alright, and just like that, we have all of our weapons upgraded to +2. Minus the heavy Highland axe here, because that's just for buffing. But yeah, just like that, we are pretty much in a good place to invade for our bracket right now. We have done a good job of cleaning up just about everything we need to at this point in time. Well, right here is that recusant invasion where we get the scaled armor. We're not even close to having enough carry weight for that, but we'll come back to it down the line. But giving it a little bit of thought, I think what we're going to try to do in terms of providing ourselves just a little bit of structure is we should aim to get 5 levels. out of our invasions. Right now we'll call it 6 this time, just because we're at 24, and we want to get to a clean 30. So what we're going to do is aim to get 6 levels out of our invasions, which means we're going to need to find some over-leveled phantoms. But once we get those 5 levels, we'll allow ourselves to upgrade our weapons to +3, and we will permit ourselves to open up Raya Lucaria. We're going to keep ourselves from moving too quickly through PvE so that we don't garner too many PvE runes and suddenly we're able to just buy our way through the game. We do not want to do that. So right now we've only got to the entrance of the academy. We're going to go no further until we get to rune level 30, and then we'll probably get a couple graces in, maybe up to the Red Wolf boss, and stop there. And then we'll look to get another 5 levels or so. I think that's kind of a good loose template for how we approach this for the early game. We'll probably adjust it a little bit as we go forward, and kind of the rune requirements for leveling up are going to go up, of course, so we may need to do some adjusting. But I think for now, that's a good way to kind of pace ourselves so that we're not going too quickly through the game. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and start invading. Hey, fellas. We fighting? There's no boss. What are you guys doing here? Light rolling and latent. Okay, that's going to be a problem for us. Ooh, the latency is real. Oh no. I can't tell if he's over-leveled or not, just because I can't hit him. Okay, we're gonna switch things up. Good lord. See, this is why light roll completely breaks the game. Because I can't hit this guy. Like, straight up, I cannot hit him. Get him out of here. Alright. Over-leveled fan. Well, slightly over-leveled. Okay, so we can just mash with the host. We'll go ahead and give him a bow. He clearly kind of knew. I think he just kind of had an over-leveled friend helping him out. And I'm realizing, now that I look at our rune count, I'll have to go back and look at the footage. Fuck, I kind of fucked up. I didn't fully wipe our runes before we did that invasion, so I didn't keep good track of how many we actually earned. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go have a look at the footage and see how many we actually netted and what we'll permit ourselves to spend. So be right back. Okay, so I went back through the footage and I realized what we were dealing with was not an over-leveled phantom. What it was is that our S-stock is bleed infused. It has the bleed affinity, which means base damage is not good. It's great for the status build-up, but damage-wise, it's very bad. So that plus, maybe that phantom had, to their credit, leveled vigor to an acceptable degree. Contributed to kind of the illusion that they were overleveled, but I went back. We earned about 600 runes off of that, and we need 3,900 4K to level up, and we're sitting at just shy of that amount. But obviously we are not going to level off of that because that's not all PvP runes. So what I think we're going to do, just to get kind of a win-win out of my fuck up there, is we're going to go ahead and buy, let's see here, how many fan daggers can we reasonably buy? You know what, let's just empty out our whole rune count here. Sets us back a bit, but now we have some fan daggers, which are super valuable. Craft more pots. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly show you guys how to quickly up your storage, your store of fire pots, because you might, well, most likely based on the view count, you probably don't remember because you didn't watch. But in part 1, I talked about how this grace here, the Aguil Lake South Grace, right by the Everjail, is the best mushroom farming spot in the game. And it's pretty obvious why. You have the grace right here, and a mushroom 5 feet away. Grab it, rest, reset. So you can pretty quickly farm a lot of mushrooms for throwing pots here. It's very monotonous, obviously, so I will speed this up. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of gather, let's say, 5 minutes worth of mushrooms, and then we'll go and farm some smoldering butterflies, so that we have the required crafting materials for those fire pots. So I'll be right back with y'all here in a second. Okay, so about 5 minutes worth of farming here, and we're sitting at 60 mushrooms. So pretty low time commitment to get yourself at least a decent pile of them. So you could obviously go for however long to get a close to full stack of them, because you do need mushrooms for lots of crafting items. But that should be enough for us for now. Now to get the other half of our formula, we're gonna head to Ravinevale Village. This was also the location of one of our golden seeds. That's why we have the grace already. And this one is even closer. It's like 3 feet away. So yeah, it's right here, smoldering butterfly. You basically don't even need to move. You just turn around, and just like that. So we're gonna do another 5 minutes of farming here, probably get quite a few of these guys, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so again, about 5 minutes worth of farming, and we're looking at 78 butterflies, so even a bit more than the mushrooms we got. So pretty easy to get yourself a pretty good stash of both of those materials for a very valuable consumable. So let's see here. So with that, we can craft another 4 pots, and we're good to go for the foreseeable future. And we have, well, really just fan daggers and pots, but that's pretty sufficient for now. We don't really need a lot of crazy items at this point in the game. So yeah, there you go. Quick tutorial on how to get a bunch of fire pots. So see you in a second here. We're gonna get back into the invasions, I promise. Okay, so the moment I said that, I got held up with an obligation, and I'm actually going to have less time than I thought today, but that's okay. We may not reach our goal, but we're gonna go ahead and try to get in a few invasions before I need to go. And honestly, I think that kind of works out. This video is probably going to be as long, if not longer, than the other ones anyway, and there's a reason we're breaking this up into parts, so let's see what we can do, shall we? Alright, Stormvale. As I said before, this is one of my favorite areas to invade. Alright, so these guys are up top. That is no bueno for us. How do we want to approach this? I'm fairly certain they've seen me from up there. Let's start by just trying to reposition. Maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, nope, the exact same spawn. Okay, we're not gonna waste time with that. We're just gonna go back until we encounter them. A lot of invasions are pretty much 90% trying to find the fuckers that you're trying to kill. Because if I were them, I would be on the roof because it is a very safe spot. Because there's only one way up and down. One way up. Up here? Maybe? I do love invading in this area, but man, sometimes the compass is more or less useless just because of how dense it is. Maybe they're below in the church area there? Maybe they're waiting to ambush? They're killing something down there. So if I'm lucky, they will come out down there. And the Banished Knight will kind of be our co. They have to come through here. Alright, Phantom down, and we're gonna just... Alright, thank you, Banished Knight. Those guys looked like they might have been cosplaying. They were wearing Godric stuff. It's kinda cool, I guess. I'm not sure if that was intentional, or... But yeah, good on them. Alright, so we netted about 500 from that, so yeah, definitely not an overleveled Phantom. So maybe we'll get we'll get luckier on this one. Alright, they opened the door. That's good. Alright. Oh, we got Stormveil again. No compass. So they are... Okay. So we're gonna get up while we have a chance to. I'm pretty... Yeah, they're back at the Grace there. Okay. Are these our cosplayers again? Might be. Now, I think from the looks of it, we have the Bird Boys still, which is great. Those are great co's. Now this guy... Alright. Okay, can't forget Prio. Need to get him to whiff. Whew! Can't fuck with Katana Prio. You fool! Alright. Ooh. Okay. This is interesting. So... they're back that way. Okay. So, this is one of those instances where I think we're gonna do some funny. We're going to do some Mimic Veil gaming. And wait for them to come down this way. Alright, dagger kill. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. Oh, that was unfortunate. Alright, weeping. And we are... Oh, this is an odd place to spawn. Alright, this guy likes his Reduvias. That could be quite dangerous for us. get him off of us. Okay, we're gonna get Hammer Talisman on here so that we can deal with that shield somewhat. This guy has not landed a single hit with those yet. Whoo-wee, that is dangerous. That blood loss. Ooh, you are over-leveled, my friend. Ooh, baby. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead. I want that phantom. We're gonna get set up with a hall stock. We want him to lunge in when I go for the host, because he wants to protect him. Man, okay, and I have no means of increasing resistance to that, so we need to just let the blood go down. See, fire pots can be incredibly effective. Alright. We have to assume that since this guy is clearly over-leveled, that he probably has at minimum 5 heals. Possibly more. Likely more. At the very least, he doesn't seem to know what he's doing with those. Probably very much crutching on the bleed more than anything. Alright. Our ad is down, but that's okay. We have plenty to keep them at bay for the moment. Alright. We want him to just keep using his heals, and then we'll go in for the kill on him. Alright, he does not appear to have more heals. Okay, never mind. He was just waiting. Okay, that is a problem. Because one desync from that might kill me. Shit. Okay. That is dangerous. We just need to get him No! Ah, man, I should have played more carefully. Yeah, we still had a heal and our physic. Ah! I wonder if I can get those guys again. Man, that would have been good. That guy had everything. But that's just how these runs go sometimes. Alright. Okay, they're waiting up top. What the fuck? Okay, I see our boys. They are running hyper armor, which is a problem for a fella such as myself. Because 2 hyper armor dudes is nothing to underestimate. Oh, jeez, okay. Alright. Alright, 1 down. Do it. Roll, roll, roll. I'm really not spacing here. I'm sorry, my friend, but you're about to bleed. Sorry, my friend. That was that was nasty. Oh my god! I just realized I got 15k from that fan. What the shit? Ooh, baby. Okay. Okay. I didn't think that guy was over-leveled at all. I thought he was just a little guy. Okay, well, we're gonna take that to the bank, and we're going to, let me see here, actually, let's take stock of our inventory real quick, see where we are with our minimums. Getting the strength for the lance, I think, is where I want to get next, which along the way gets us the Zwei. So I think, yeah, it would be very good if we could get, yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so at the very least we get the Zwei out of that, which is fantastic. Okay, I ran back and grabbed our dropped runes in Weeping Peninsula, and with that we are actually just a few hundred, about 500 short of our next level, which will bring us to rune level 28. So, let's be hopeful here and see what we can get. Maybe by this point the cooldown for those guys will be done. I did not mean to do that. Now, do I make a poop pot? It's very tempting, but you know, sometimes you just need it, but our resources are so thin right now. Alright, okay, they're dragon farming, which means we're gonna do some farming of our own. Okay. Do some wiggle. Oh man. Let's see where we can go with this guy. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna yeet himself? Because I'd rather you not do that, my friend. That's not cool. Okay, let's see if we can. Oh no. Oh, okay. It's a. Oh my god. What the fuck? One more invasion should do it. I think we'll probably call it there for this part. I'm getting a little tired, in case you can't tell. So we're gonna call it while we're on a strong streak. Okay. This could be one of many things. It's Liurnia, so there's always a coin toss chance that these are shitters. Okay, so these are not shitters. Oh, this guy has BHB though, that's a problem for a fella such as myself. So we're gonna go TS. Okay, so we're gonna need, yeah, there's a little bit of help for us. Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, we want this guy. I need the host to not die, though. Man. Okay, so this guy... I just need him to use all his FP so he can stop doing that. Okay. Ooh, that was a weird interaction. Okay, yeah, they've got bleed on that too. That's a problem. Shit. That is going to be a problem for a fella such as myself. Okay. Okay, how do we... Alright, we need to get them separated. This BHB shit is gonna get really annoying really fast. Boom. Alright, style points. Alright, what do we get from that? 42k! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We take those. Sorry, buddy. Man, that is exactly what I needed to wrap up this episode. Oh boy, okay, so now I need to do a bit of recalibrating. Oh boy, okay, this is the part where we need to do some precision engineering on our bracketing. So, okay, we still have the Godric thing, so that's 20k for purchasing. Now, we can totally use our earnings here on shops as well. Like, I think that's totally within reason. Get some of that action. Brings us up to 32. I think if we get up to 35, that's a good pausing point for our leveling. 34. Okay, that is actually perfect. That is exactly what I am here for. Beautiful. And that means we now have to earn 7.4k for leveling. We're honestly pretty close right now. Let's take a quick look here. Nothing here. Okay, let's use the remainder of what we've got to level our weapons, and that'll be it for today. So, what I went ahead and did, after doing some double checking, is I pushed a few of our primaries, so namely our Zwei, Halberd, Shamshir, and Estok. I need to do a reorg of our inventory rows here next time. So our top level is now +5. We could go up to +6 and still be in the same bracket. Just because of how those work. but we're in a really good spot after today. We got a lot of really good key items. We had a handful of great invasions, pretty fun ones. Not as many as I would have liked, but you know, that's okay. We just had time constraints. I think the next episode will dedicate more to just invading, because as far as fleshing out our build goes, we've hit most of the big beats. The only PvE thing we might do next is Raya Lucaria. I think it would be good now that we've stepped up about 5 or... Wait, how many levels was that? We were at 24 before, and now we're at 30. 10 levels, 10 level jump, man. Okay, yeah, so I think we're in a good spot then to open up Raya Lucaria next time, because then we'll be able to invade in there, and that's always fun. And besides all that, there's really nothing else. We could... I think maybe we'll open up all this over here. Get to the church. Well, that's not important at all. None of that is important for us right now. But point being, I feel good about today. I think it was a lot of time well spent, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next part. Bye!